Welcome to day 25 of the 30-day challenge. Today we're focusing on the lower body, stretching and strengthening the lower half of the body. So we'll get started in tabletop. And you can either keep your hands facing forward or you can turn them around, out and around to face your knees, and begin to move through a couple rounds of cat-cows on your own to warm up the spine and connect the movement to breath. Perhaps bring in Ujjayi breath. Take one more round. Come back to neutral. Turn the hands around if they're facing back. Plant down through the left hand and lift your right arm up. And circle the wrist out a few times. And then take an inhale and exhale. Weave your right arm through to the left. Set your right shoulder down. Crawl your left fingertips forward. You can stay here or you can plant down through your left hand for stability and extend your left leg back. Keep the toes on the ground and the leg extended. Some people like to actually lift the left leg for a little balance challenge. For me right now, it feels good to keep that stability. And if you feel stable, then you might re-extend your left arm forward on your fingertips. Now bring the left knee back down to the ground. Lift the left arm all the way up. Now stay here. Come up onto your left fingertips. Tuck your toes. And rise all the way up so you're twisted and you're standing on your knees. And you can stay here and reach your arms apart, or you can put your right hand on your right heel and go into a half camel as you reach your left arm back. And open the arms back out wide. Place the left hand back down, reach the right arm up, and then place the right hand down. Keep the right hand down, lift the left arm up. Circle the wrist around a couple times in each direction. And then weave the left arm through to the right. Set the left shoulder down. Crawl the right fingertips forward. And then you can do the same thing on the other side. You can extend your right leg. Maybe you even lift it. Left palm faces up. We breathe into the upper back where we're twisting. And if your leg is extended, set the knee back down. Reach the left arm back up. Come up onto your right fingertips, tuck your toes, and rise all the way up. Option to set your left fingertips on your left heel for a little half camel. Nothing crazy, it's just the beginning of our movement. Open the arms back up. Place the right hand down, left arm up. Inhale. Exhale, left hand down onto the ground. Tuck the toes if they're not already. Downward facing dog. Take a moment to pedal it out. Especially if it's morning for you, you might need a little extra time to arrive into the body, stretch out the calves and hamstrings. Shake out your head to help relax the neck. Okay, and then just like in cat in the beginning, we're going to round the spine like cat pose, round the upper back, and roll into plank. Then bring your knees an inch off the ground. Shift your hips back so you're floating child's pose. Lift the hips up, round through your upper back, roll into plank. So we're doing spinal rolls. Keep going, knees down, shift back, hips up, round, and roll. And try to make it now kind of a fluid motion. Two more. Might hear some cracks and pops in your body. That's okay. Then we'll go back to down dog and walk the hands to the back of the mat. Grab onto your elbows for ragdoll. Let your upper body hang heavy. Rock side to side. Then turn your toes out, heels in. Keep your fingertips on the ground. Bend your knees into squat, malasana. And then straighten the legs, but not all the way. Have a slight bend to the knees. We've done this before. Bend back into malasana, open up the chest, and slowly fold, but don't straighten the legs all the way. And squat, keep going. We'll pretty quickly start to feel burn in the legs here. 3 more. On the last one, you'll straighten the legs all the way and fold. Slowly stand up at the back of the mat. Once you get up there, roll the shoulders back and down. And reach your arms all the way up. And take a side bend to the right. However you like to side bend, it's fine. Right now I'm bringing my right hand arm down, left arm up and over. And come back up to center. Side bend left. And reach the arms back up. Fold forward. Hands down to the ground. Lift up halfway. Walk your hands all the way out to plank. And let's take 10 seconds to get to the ground. You can always use your knees if you need to. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Untuck your toes. Lift your chest up for cobra, as high or low as it feels good for you. Then go back to downward facing dog. Bring your feet together. Lift your right leg all the way up. Bend your knee. Open up your hip. Step your right foot outside of your right hand. And bring your left foot to the left a little bit and then set the heel down like you're in a really kind of wide warrior one. And walk your hands to the front left corner of the mat on your fingertips. This is a warrior lunge. Really firm up your left thigh muscles. Anchor your right hip back so you're kind of spinning to the middle. Your head drops between your upper arms. One more breath. Then bring your hands back onto the mat. And back of the mat, Skandasana. So bend into your left knee. And bring your hands to your heart. Or if you need to have your hands on the ground to balance, that's okay too. Press the right heel down and imagine you're dragging the mat towards you for 3, 2, 1. Let's go into lizard, front of the mat. Now we'll keep the back knee lifted and either stay on your hands or put your forearms down on the ground or blocks if you have them, if you want. And make your hands flat like you're in dolphin. Firm up your back thigh a lot. Feel the strength of your legs. Press down into the sole of your right foot and into the toes. Don't let that left knee sink down. Now we're going to step back into a forearm plank. So bring that right foot back. Forearm plank. Walk your feet in for dolphin. Press your chest towards your thighs. Press the forearms into the ground so that you lift away from the ground. And then walk your feet back into a forearm plank, palms flat. As slow as you can, press up to a high plank, as stable and as slow as possible. Lower down for chaturanga, upward facing dog or cobra, and downward facing dog. Breath in and breath out. Lift your left leg up, bend your knee, open your hip. Step your foot outside of your left hand for lizard. Sorry, not lizard. We're going to go into humble or like kind of like our humble warrior or warrior lunge. So bring your right foot to the right Put the heel down and walk your hands to the front and right corner of the mat. Firm up your right thigh. Let your head drop between your arms. Find your breath. Your breath is your anchor. Then bring your hands back under your shoulders, back of the mat, Skandasana. So you might have to reorient your legs a little bit or your feet and press down into your left heel. And if your right heel is lifted, that's okay. If you can't set it down, that's normal. For a lot of people, it's just the structure of your ankle, your bones. Again, press down through the left heel for 3. So it's engaging your hamstrings. 2, 1, back to lizard, or to lizard for the first time on this side. So put the forearms down, palms flat. Maybe they're on blocks, or maybe you're just on your hands. And you firm your back thigh so much to the sky so that right leg is really engaged. And then from wherever you are, make your way into a forearm plank. And walk your feet in again for dolphin. So your chest presses towards your thighs. We get a nice stretch through the hamstrings and a strengthening and stretch through the upper body, the shoulders. Keep lifting your tailbone high. And then walk your feet back to a forearm plank. With stability, rise up to high plank. Lower down for chaturanga. Upward facing dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. In through your nose and out of your mouth. Now bring your feet together and lift your right leg up. Step your right foot between your hands. Good. Then look forward, and we're going to make our way into supported warrior 3. So walk your hands out in front of you and lift your left leg. And then you can take your arms into airplane or straight out in front of you if you feel ready. For full warrior 3, knit the ribs in, anchor the right hip back. Slowly step back to high lunge. Inhale, exhale, warrior 2. Flip the right palm, reverse warrior. Reach it back. And then side angle with your right hand on the ground or fingertips on the ground, left arm up. You can take your left arm over your ear or take a half bind and maybe a full bind. But now we're going to look down at the ground. Now, if you're not in a full bind, I want you to take your right hand and grab onto your right heel and bring your left arm into a half bind. Otherwise, you're in full bind. Step to the front of the mat. Lift your right heel up. Whatever version you're in, lift your right heel. Put all your weight into your left foot. And we're going to work to stand all the way up. Now, keep in mind, this is a short practice. So if it doesn't feel as good or easy as it does at the end of a long practice, that's okay. If you want to, you can straighten your right leg, but maybe your leg doesn't feel ready for that yet. For me, I'm keeping my right knee bent. So we're in bird of paradise. And then slowly lower back down when you're ready. And just uncross your arms and release your arms down. And then lift up halfway. And plant the hands and step or hop back to chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Lift your left leg up. Step your left foot between your hands. Low lunge. Walk your hands out in front of you to lift your right leg up and anchor your left hip back. In either airplane, warrior 3, or arms out in front of you. Slowly step back to high lunge. Inhale, exhale, warrior 2. Flip your left palm, reverse warrior. Inhale. Exhale, side angle, left hand down, right arm up, either arm over your ear or half bind or full bind. Bend into that front knee. Get the right shoulder back if you're in a full bind. Look down at the ground. Now, if you're not in a full bind, you're going into a half bind with your right arm, left hand to your left heel. Hold on to the heel. So I'll do that with you if you're doing that version. Everyone step to the front of the mat. Lift your left heel, you're still holding. Or you're in a bind. Start to rise up. If you're in that variation, right arm behind you, left hand to heel, you just stay there. You can also extend the leg from there too. Whether you're in full bind or half bind, you're holding. Stand taller. Bird of paradise. And then slowly come on down. Unwind your arms and halfway lift. Now come into malasana, so turn your toes out, heels in. And either stay or place your hands down. And I highly recommend trying instead of just waiting. So plant the hands down and we'll come into crow pose, bakasana. So lift the heels up, bring the knees into the upper arms, shift forward, and you might not fly. You might keep your feet down. That's a great place to be. Or you lift your feet up, knees into your upper arms, heels up to your glutes. And then you can hop back to chaturanga if you want, up dog and down dog. Breath in and breath out. Good. Take your hands wide. We're going to hop through to a seat. So start to get bouncy and see if you can just hop your way through. Doesn't matter what it looks like. And take your hands behind you and lift your legs up. So it's like a modified boat pose. And then bring your hands behind your thighs and open your chest. And maybe you stay here or you reach your arms out, boat pose, and maybe you even straighten the legs. And then lower down halfway for half boat and reach your arms overhead. Keep your head lifted, keep your legs extended. Can we hold for 10 seconds? 9, 8, 7, 6. Press your low back into the ground. 4, 3, 2, 1. Release to the ground. Arms overhead. Now take your legs over to the right side of the mat and cross your left ankle on top of your right ankle. Grab onto your left wrist with your right hand. Take a side bend to the right. You're creating a banana shape with your body. Move your right shoulder blade down and away from your ear. Good, then we'll come back to center. Bring everything to the left. Right ankle on top of left ankle. Grab onto the right wrist and take a side bend to the left. Move your left shoulder down and away from your ear. Then come back to center. Hug your knees into your chest. Give them a little squeeze as you rock side to side. Place your feet down on the ground, arms down by your sides. Squeeze your shoulder blades, move them towards each other, and lift your hips up for bridge. Option to interlace your hands behind your back or on the ground. Pinky fingers press into the ground. Lift your hips, press into the heels. And then slowly lower down to the ground. Take your feet wide, windshield wiper your legs side to side. You could just let your hands rest on your belly. Then bring the knees back up to center and let the knees knock towards each other. And if it's comfortable, they can rest on each other. If that's not comfortable, you can find a different position. Let your arms rest by your sides. Or maybe it feels good to take the arms overhead. Close your eyes. Let that breath just move through you. In just 20 minutes of practice, but we feel a greater sense of clarity, of ease, of strength. Take a big breath in through the nose. And an open mouth exhale. Inhale through the nose. And exhale, the breath dissolving like sand. One more time. In and out. Start to slide your feet towards each other. And bring the knees into the chest. And make your way up to a seat, or you're welcome to stay longer and relax. Thank you for practicing. Thanks for making it this far. I can't wait to see you tomorrow for our 26th practice. Let's bring our hands together at our heart and let's bow in gratitude for this practice.